Welcome back, terrestrials. Since it's summertime, we just did Jaws for 4th of July. We're just going to stick with that summer theme: camping, sleeping outdoors, sleepaway camp. We're doing sleepaway camp.
Right.
Um, so is you said you've only seen this one other time?
Yeah, I've seen this twice now.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen this maybe three times. So let's jump into it. Is this what you expected?
But yeah, I mean it's a sleepaway camp. It's sleepaway camp. Yeah, it's definitely what you expect. Um, yeah. What do you grade this, man?
I don't know, man. I think I'm going if hmm, a high B plus maybe. Um,
Interesting. And no, I'm going like C plus, B minus, I'll say.
okay, okay.
Yeah, it's somewhere in there where it's like
I can arguments can be made for it being one of the greats, be just because of how outrageous it is.
right.
But like there's and I think that that's where I'm gonna come from in this discussion is like there are a lot of aspects of really good horror in
Right.
this movie. We all know the ending. If you don't, then don't watch this.
Right. Yeah, I mean,
But go
yeah.
watch the movie and then come back and subscribe and share. But like we'll get to that. I think that this as a base of a movie it feels very 80s. It's
Yes.
it's quirky, it's weird. It starts weird. Um it and it
Does have a
has these
camp,
elements.
like
Yeah.
a camp, but not a camping, like it's just a campy element to it, definitely.
Yeah. And they made some really odd choices with like how much of a pedophile that cook was.
Yeah,
like
I said
like that
that,
was
but
that was wild
that's
choice to
our
throw in
that's
there.
our like this movie has a lot of those I hate that. I can't wait to see this fucker die, you
Hmm.
know. There's a lot of those in here. You only need like one or two.
Hmm.
Like, the smarmy bitch dies, or,
Hmm.
okay, the fucking, the,
Seemingly Angela is justified for every single thing that she
yeah,
does.
yeah, yeah,
And I
fucking,
think I think when you vote when you root for Jason, you're just rooting for carnage, right? Just
right,
like just unbiased carnage, like whatever's in front of him.
yeah.
Angela, obviously, oops, Angela is the killer. Spoilers. That's one of the spoilers. But also she is very justified for everything that she's doing. She
Hmm.
she is being tortured by these people, and she is very strategically picking each one of them to kill. Um, but
Yeah.
I think that it's a good it's good horror, but it's also a good summer camp movie in between those scenes because her
Yes.
cousin that like is protecting her the whole time, that dude's the best. Like everybody should wish a girl has a brother like that. Like that dude is smaller than all these grown men and he's trying to fight them. He's cussing at them. The dude's like the one guy when they're playing baseball, he's like, "Hey Ricky, eat shit and die." And he's like, "Eat shit and live."
Yeah.
Like the
Yeah,
back and
this is a
forth of these dudes are
good
good.
comeback.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but I notice while watching this, and I think we should just get into it right now because it's the one thing that's on my brain
Okay.
is this movie a hat on a hat? Like, we have so
Well,
many like plot devices of why she's a killer, and it's like we know you're the killer and stuff. There's no
well,
half and
yeah,
half there. But
but
it's like okay, when we know what we know, okay, so the boating accident at the beginning,
Mhm.
okay, one, the when we learn that like One, okay. Then we learn that the aunt is crazy, or we already
You
have
should have
one
seen that
boy.
from like
Yeah,
from Jump Street. Like
right.
soon as that
You know,
woman pop, soon as
I
that
packed y'all
beret,
snacks and extra bag of chips and
yeah,
shit.
as
And
soon as
fucking
that beret hit the screen, you should have known that that lady
yeah,
was.
the aunt is unstable.
Mhm.
And then there's like a small plot where she's having a dream where like she sees her dad like in a gay relationship
Mhm.
and stuff, and then it turns like what are we trying to say here, guys? Like what's going on? Did did she murder because of that or something? And then the spoiler in this movie, oh, it's not a little girl, it's a little boy, and
Whoa,
that's
whoa,
the movie.
whoa, whoa. We have video waste here. Do not acknowledge Jerry's statements that Angela is a little boy. She is totally a little girl, and that's okay.
The aunt was
For
making her one, okay?
for any of you out
Like this is
there
the whole
that don't
argument
feel
that
comfortable in your
you
body,
know,
it's
like
totally okay to do whatever you
yeah,
want.
when
I
yeah, I
don't
mean,
agree with Jerry's opinions. He can have that
we
that
don't
right
know
wing
if
he can have that right
yeah,
wing
you know.
mentality if he would like. He's my friend. I'm not gonna, but I don't support that statement.
I guess we got to talk to what's her face, the actress who played the
Felissa Rose,
character. Yeah,
yeah, you can find her at any old
yeah,
bar,
I know.
hotel
Fucking
bar,
go
dude.
up the
Like
road and
she's
hey,
at every hotel
we
bar.
got
So
a we got a question, but
yeah,
no, there's a lot going on here. Why did Jason want to kill?
well, because Jason's mom got killed.
Yeah, because Jason's
And he
mom got
was
killed.
also getting revenge for his death. So
Right.
it's two things. So
Okay.
that's a hat on a hat.
Two.
But no, so like I agree. I could see why you would think that way. Um but for Angela, I think that all of these things kind of led to the snapping point because the way the movie plays out, and you got to take away your horror knowledge and being able
Right.
to see these things coming because the way the movie plays out is number one, you see boy girl in the pond, they get the boat gets hit,
Right.
dad's dead,
The
whatever.
Shyamalan twist.
Sure. You don't see the girl, but you do see the boy.
Right.
Now you flip over for me, maybe it's just because I was very, I don't know, I wasn't focused on it that hard. But when the next scene you see them going to camp, you go, "Oh, that's the little boy and the little girl from the lake."
Or
Not that the little girl is
yeah.
not that the little girl's dead and now the boy has to become the girl. That's not what I saw. I saw,
Right.
"Oh, that's the boy and girl from Lake. Now they're living with their aunt."
Right. Because
And
they never
I
said brother
know
and sister. It
right,
never
but she
says
does
anything.
say like she does say like take care of Angela, she's my angel.
Yeah.
But she calls the boy Ricky.
Right.
She doesn't call him son. I think she does, but I think very like in passing. And at that point, that's kind of the relationship that you have with them, so it makes sense. So I took both of those as the boy and girl from the lake.
Right.
So when they go down there and she's not talking, whatever, I'm thinking trauma from the lake. So that's the little girl from the lake. She's got trauma. She's not dealing with it well. The boy's handling it okay.
Hmm.
He's moved on. He's figured things out. And so the way the movie plays it is Ricky's the one doing all the killing, and Angela is just like, being tormented, and he's got the reason now to go kill for his cousin, or
Right.
we find out his cousin. So that's the way the movie plays it. Now we can see a million miles away. Obviously,
We
Angela
have the
didn't
power
do
of
it.
hindsight. So
Right. So maybe it is a hat on a hat, and I do think that at the
it's
end
not a
when
negative. I'm just saying
right.
there's just a lot going on there for like why does our main character kill?
Well,
It's just,
I don't
you
even
know,
know that any of those things are the reason she
true.
kills.
True.
Because to me, that scene where the dad's making out with the other dude in the bed, the guy from the shore at the
Yeah.
lake,
Yeah.
those two, I think that these are just regressed memories
Yeah,
that
that's a better
are
way
are
of putting it.
coming back.
Yeah,
And
I didn't
she's
think of it
like,
that way.
and she's just kind of snapping at all this flooding information. But before she has any of that like realization, she's already been killing. So
Yes.
she's just taking out her bullies. And I think that that's the main point. I think the rest of this might be the part that's the hat on the hat. Like, why was that necessary to put to to put it in there?
Hmm.
Because without those scenes, you you could have very easily been like, oh no, she's the boy, like she's the boy from the lake.
Right.
So
Yeah,
duh.
it seemed kind of like reverse or an extreme version of Psycho,
Mhm,
where Norman Bates' mom is like, "Oh, you're gonna dress like this, Norman," with the aunt being
mhm.
like that. But
That's a good point.
it doesn't really like I mean, like the movie selling point, is just like is that, is like, oh, that's what, it's known for. It's like
Yeah,
wait till the end,
yeah,
That's
yeah.
where it is,
And in the 80s, that's insanely shocking. But the movie, like, there's the things that like really get me are like the characters and how bad the characters are, and then they get killed, and then that's awesome.
Yeah.
Like, you know
Yeah,
what I
because
mean?
it
Like,
makes you
that's
feel
what makes
better,
the
It's
fun.
like,
So
oh
yeah,
yeah, that fucking bitch fucking that threw her in the lake. Yeah, good.
yeah, yeah.
You know.
I mean, all of them. The pedophile cook,
Yeah.
the girl that threw her in the lake, the counselor that like hits her or starts screaming at her because, or like shaking her maybe, because she won't talk to her. But
Yeah.
then you got the muscle dude with the shortest shorts, like being as where he is stereotypically in other movies, he's the jerk or the pedophile or the jock or whatever.
Right.
That dude
He's
is like
the
constantly being the good guy in this movie.
right.
He's like, hey man, don't do that to her,
The only thing I
whatever.
couldn't take is that
The half shirt.
Angela,
Oh, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
the
Well,
Angela,
it's probably
fucking
right outside New York somewhere. I don't know where this
classy
place is.
fries, man. Fucking, I kept on like yelling classy fries at him because you know, but yeah, that's the only thing. Now, the kills in this,
They're very
um,
POV. They're
very
POV to keep the killer's identity hidden.
right, but the kills themselves, A plus. What are you thinking on the kills?
I think that the kills are pretty good. I think that along with the kills, the special effects on them are
Well,
really
that's
good.
what I'm, yeah, in the effect that they
Okay,
have
yeah. I
instead
thought you were
of
talking
like
about the creativity of the kill.
those are pretty
Um,
good. I mean, but
I think
you
yeah,
got some stabs, you gotta,
yeah.
but the way
But
they
the
look
special
in the movie,
effects, yeah. I mean the snake crawling out of the mouth kind of
yeah,
thing, like
yeah, that's really
that's
good.
good. The slice down the back from the shower, good. They're the scalding hands, good.
From the giant, the oversized tub for the corn.
Yeah,
Shit.
yeah, yeah. The super pot.
I'll still say the old camp counselor, the one that yells.
Oh, the
When he
guy
gets
with the
shot in the
cigar.
throat, yeah, when he gets
Yeah.
shot in the throat with the arrow, I was like, oh damn,
Yeah.
that looked good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's the owner and he's a little shitbag himself because he's about to bang that counselor that
Yeah, the
got her
fucking
back sliced up. But yeah, I was like, damn, they killed that guy. Because there's that was like really, really good editing.
yeah,
Because it like you can't see it going in, but it's like wiggling out the back like
yeah,
as
just
it
like
comes to a stop in his throat. And I'm like,
yeah,
wow, that's good. That's a good job. Yeah.
yeah,
Are
yeah. They
you
did.
would you give it an A plus?
Oh yeah, definitely. That's where I was like, wow,
Mhm,
like I like there's so many like positives
mhm,
on this. Like the C B, I'd put it more on B now thinking about it, but like the camp, like really exploring what camp was, you know, in the 80s. It's like, yeah, that's a plus. They did a good
mhm,
job. They did a good job, kind of like I think we've always talked about like, man, I want a movie that feels like Wet Hot American Summer,
Mhm.
but with the element of Jason in it, that has that real strong camp, and
I
this
mean, this
does.
is yeah, this is that.
The kills in it, yeah, it really does have those like, like like everybody can it gets killed at one point kind of like
Yeah,
feel to it, all the assholes die,
yeah,
you
for
know.
sure.
Um so there are those points where it's just like, oh, that's good. Oh wow, I'm really enjoying that. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I think that the like and it's something that I've kind of like since we did Don't Be a Menace. It's kind of something that I've kind of noticed is like it stood out to me with this movie is like there's a camp movie, there's a scary movie, there's a mystery movie, and how do they all line up together to make this movie?
Right.
Because the camp scenes when they're playing baseball or throwing water balloons or camping at night with the counselor, like all those are just good camp movie, good camp feel.
Hmm.
Then there's this mystery of who done it, and then there's the kills that give it the horror.
Yeah.
So it's like all these things lined up to make this good movie. And I I think that I hesitate to give it more than like a B plus or A minus or something, only because the kills were not super brutal.
Hmm.
I think that they could have definitely elevated it with spending some more time on those kills. But outside that, this is a solid movie. It's a
Right.
good movie. It's very unique, especially at the time that it came out.
Right.
So I think that a lot of people love this movie and a lot of people hate the movie, but I think that a lot of people love this movie and I get it. I see
Yeah.
why and I'm right there with them. Obviously we can always go, I would have done this, but we
There's
can't do that.
not much more.
We're not going to get the opportunity to remake it. So
Right.
we just take what we got and we enjoy it and you know,
There's not much more where it's like, oh, I would have done this and stuff. It's not like, because the title Sleepaway Camp, and like you go into it and you go, well, no, it's fine the way it is. This is what they wanted and shit, and that's what we got. Shit, and I would say like I would like a little bit from column A and a little bit from column B of like, man, I wish they would take this and mix it more with Jason, like have Jason, because they what in like part 6 7 is 6 of Friday the 13th. That's when we actually see a camp.
mhm.
We don't see a camp. I mean, you
You
telling
see
me
a
there's
little
only
bit of
three
a camp.
counselors?
You see a camp a little bit in the first one.
Right, but no
When they're talking
kids
to the
and
cop and the
yeah.
cop's like, "Don't sass me." In the background, you can see cabins.
Yeah, but
But outside of
there's
that,
no like kids and
right, right,
it's
right,
like,
right.
but
Yeah,
not until like
what is
6.
that about?
In
Why is
6
there
there's
no kid?
kids
Yeah, why is there no kids at this fucking camp? And why are these counselors at a
because
camp?
they
Because
didn't want Jason to start decapitating some kids.
yeah, missed
But
opportunity.
yeah, but like like that feeling of like it does a great job of giving you, like you said, this is summertime fun.
Hmm.
Even though it like the first scenes in this, I noticed I
Are
was like,
very
this
hot.
is all shot in the fall. There's
Mm,
clearly leaves, those are turning color and shit.
mm.
And then it's like, oh, look, the summertime. It's like, oh yeah, I guess you need to contrast the time. But yeah, then like you get this great summertime camp,
Mhm.
but then there's also murders, and I think this movie could have used a little bit more of James Earl Jones's brother, so he should have stayed longer because he was only like in a couple of scenes, and then they just never reference back to him.
I
That
think
was James Earl Jones's brother.
I I believe you.
No, do you? Because you didn't seem like you believed me. Seems
I
like,
mean, I like the guy. I don't have any problems with him.
right.
He got the lead cook position. What else do
Yeah.
you want? Um, but like I think my biggest gripe for this movie was, and I understand the social statement of people being very excited that they were represented in the industry way back, and some people hate that it was a negative representation, or they took it as a negative.
Negative.
They
No.
took it as because I don't see it as one.
No.
But the thing that I don't like about it is at the end that she's making that face. The face is fine.
The growling noise too.
The growling noise is the thing that bothers me because it makes
Or
her
like,
seem
why is she
sinister.
doing that?
Yeah, it
Why is
makes
she
her
doing that?
feel sinister. And I don't like that because again, I
Maybe she
feel
swallowed a
she
bug.
was uh I think that she was justified in her kills. Obviously, that's not going to stand up in the court. I can't be her lawyer and be like, "But did you see the movie?"
No.
Um, but but
I
did
wish you could.
but the way they did that, I'm not the biggest fan of. It would have probably been better if she smiled or just did the face thing without it, whatever.
All right.
Without the sound. The sound just made it seem a little like, I don't know, they tried to make her too evil or something.
I think it would have been probably more helpful. I'm not rewriting the movie,
Right.
but if we were setting up shots,
Hmm.
I would have still had the camera like behind her, and then she looks up, the head rolls out like that, and she doesn't
Hmm.
stand up. But now, because of these murders, she's finally free.
Hmm.
Like she's been holding all this aggression inside
Right.
of her with her aunt and with what happened and the boat accident, and then she got thrown in the water earlier that day. And like so she's been pent up, she's been building up all this frustration that she's been lashing out, and now finally she's lashed out to the last point, and she's free,
Yeah.
and she should have had like more of a heroic,
Yeah. I wish
moment.
they would have painted it a little bit more like this is freedom now.
Yeah,
Like,
kind
yeah,
of.
you're going to jail or whatever, or an institution or whatever, but you let it all out
Yeah,
and you're done, like the cathartic ending or something. I don't know.
right, right.
But
And
outside of
it,
that, this movie's good. It's good.
yeah, it definitely, it has those potentials, and I don't know why it hasn't been remade. But
Shh. Don't put
I
that
know,
into the
don't say it.
universe.
Don't say it.
Edit this
Florist,
out. You edit that out of
fucking,
this video
she's
immediately.
knocking at my door, fucking
Yeah.
already.
Did you say remake? Did you say
Yeah,
remake? Like,
I'll
can you
totally
please?
be. I'll play the same character again. That's a character actor. Like we always talk about Lena.
Lena?
Yeah, we
Uh,
always talk about Lena,
yeah, yeah. I mean, she's
and
definitely she knows
Floricity. No, that's
for
not her.
Felissa.
Felissa. Yeah,
Yeah, Felissa Rose. She knows her jam. Like she's in the movies because of who she was.
all right.
Um, yeah. I mean, I think that she's I don't know. Is she Scream Queen? She was only in one of these.
No,
So
she's not a
like,
queen,
nah,
but
she's
as a and especially a child actor, as a child actor in a horror movie that has grown popular, I think it's like a lost, now she takes the fame, in Terrifier 2, she shows up
hmm
as, like, oh, hey, wow, it's that
hmm
character, it's kind of like, but I think it's kind of, you know, like a shame that she's not getting more parts in horror movies because of her iconicness, you know.
Yeah, I mean, her icon definitely grew uh over like the last several years.
Right.
She would be in smaller parts and little things, and people who knew who she was would go, "Oh shit, that's cool."
Yeah,
But now it's more like, yeah, let's get Darcy the Mail Girl and Felissa
right.
and Barbara Crampton, and like people are going out of their way to seek these at one time, big name. She was never a huge name, but like these other bigger names, and forced them into a movie somehow. And that's kind of what she's getting her like revival through that, which is fine, whatever, make your money, get your exposure. That's all good. Uh, but yeah, I just
You just what? I'm
oh,
trying
I
to find
can't.
out what else she's been in.
I a bajillion things as like Felissa Rose,
Right.
like as
That-
like counter assistant, or you know what I mean, like dental assistant or
oh my
something.
God, Jacob, we got a problem.
Yeah,
I
what's
just
up?
looked it up. There are four of these motherfuckers.
There's only three on Tubi,
So
so
thank God. Yay. Yeah, she's not in very much, like you said. But, yeah. Oh my God. No, never mind. Fuck. She's like in every fucking like Dark Moon picture
mhm. That's
movie.
what I'm saying. Like she was always in random little
Capitalizing.
things,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. Um Now another thing I was thinking earlier. Okay, so this is a Jason ripoff, right? This is, oh
um,
hey, they have Friday the 13th. We should make a
I
Friday the 13th.
I feel like yes and no. Like the argument could be made either way though, because this is like, all right. So the only way that this is a ripoff is because there's murders at a summer camp.
Right.
It doesn't have like a huge, big, strong slasher guy.
Right.
He's not
Right.
using a machete. Like this is a child who is going buck wild, not to mention like the whole mess with the sexual orientation thing. Like this is, to me personally, this is drastically different than Jason. Jason is
Yes.
brute, killing whatever stands in his way. This is like methodical,
Hmm.
planned out, thought out, because you can see like she doesn't talk much through the movie, but all these murders are planned. She's not
Right.
just running up and shanking somebody from the back. She's like, I'm going to wait, I'm going to catch them over there,
Oh, look,
and
there's a
then I'm going
beehive.
to,
I'm going
yeah,
to.
exactly. I'm going to make use of these things.
Yeah.
So
Now, but the only okay, so like McDonald's makes a chicken sandwich and Popeyes makes a chicken sandwich. They're still chicken sandwiches. They just might taste a little different because of the ingredients that we put in, and that's where I see it. Whereas, okay, yeah, we have like not Jason. Okay, don't think Jason because this is 83. Jason's not around yet. So it's just Mama Voorhees. Yeah, I don't think Jason's around yet. I can be wrong about that. Maybe the first Jason. The burlap sack Jason. But you're watching Friday the 13th, the original Friday the 13th. You're going through seeing all these murders. You have no expectation of who's doing the murders, but your brain is kind of creating who would be murdering, and then you find out it's a little old lady at the end. In this similar thing, there's murders. Who could be murdering these people? Kind of got a couple of clues here when she was killing the creepy fucking cook. He was like, "Hey, get out of here, kid."
yeah, but they never identify her.
No, they never identify her, but
So
then you go,
this
"Oh
is
my
like
God, it
a
was her the
good,
whole time."
well, yeah, but this is a good use of the red herring. As where
Yes.
like Jason, that mom character isn't even introduced
Yeah.
until the last 10 minutes of the movie.
Right.
So there's no way you could know who was the killer.
Yeah, but
This
you didn't. No
movie,
one thought that. I mean, we know it. Pamela Voorhees was the murderer, but
right,
could you imagine back in 81 going, nah, this bitch ain't
but
fucking
you
killing
didn't
no one?
even know she didn't you didn't even
Even
know
though
she
it's
existed
right,
until
right,
the last 20 minutes of the movie, if that. So
right.
like this movie, the killer is at the camp, you know, the killer's at the camp, but who is killing, and the way the movie, the red herring is Ricky, and the movie leads you to believe it's Ricky because Ricky's being picked on because they think he's the killer.
Yeah.
Like they outright go, Ricky, you're the killer.
Yeah, the
So
one guy
like,
is like, I know you did it and
yeah.
stuff when he's
So
freaking
like,
out.
yeah. So like, this is like, I don't know. I don't see it as the same thing. We can go back
Okay.
and forth on it, but we can also both be right. Um,
Yeah, we are.
so I'm a little more right, but it's okay. No, but
I
I
think though on the like yeah, leave it to you, the audience member. If
yeah,
you've made it this far in the video,
which
first
we
of all,
know
we'd like
you
to say
haven't because we've seen the
congratulations.
analytics.
Second of all, we'd like to say, okay, is this a Friday the 13th copycat or is this just a standalone? No, this is a standalone movie just because it takes place in camp and, shit like that.
Mhm.
Has nothing to the flavor of Friday the 13th
I
because there
also
are a
feel
lot
like
of
when did
Friday the
the
13th out there.
yeah, there are a lot of Friday the 13th, and there's a lot of Friday the 13th ripoffs.
Yes.
Um,
Well, that's what I mean. Just the hey, let's do what's popular. Friday the 13th is really popular.
well,
Let's do that.
that's what I was about to bring up. So like the first Friday drops in 1981, two,
I want to say one, maybe 80.
1981. Okay. I can't remember precisely.
Let's say 81 just to make it even, you know.
Is that enough time to write this script and
This is
shoot this
83.
movie? Right. But you got to remember, movies aren't shot in 6 months now. And th- I think that this movie
So,
may have been in the works, written, whatever, already.
maybe.
And it just, I think that with Jason or Friday the 13th being as huge as it was, maybe somebody was like, give me all the summer movies, like summer camp killer movies.
Hmm.
And they took them because Jason's not the first summer killer camp movie. It's just the most popular at the time, is the one that like broke out. I'm
Yeah.
sure that, and there's been a bajillion. I've seen like 70s camp killing movies, but the kids are 45 for some reason, and they're on some like Boy Scout trip or some shit. Like
Right.
it's all the same thing, but Jason is the big one, so everything gets compared to this one, but there were before and there are after, and Jason copied itself nine more
That's what I
times.
was gonna say.
So,
Like
um,
Jason is a copy of Michael Myers, and
yeah,
like
yeah.
I mean, homage, if anything. Like I just see studios going, okay, wow, this movie Friday the 13th really popular in the horror genre. Let's do what they're doing.
Mhm.
Let's try to bank on some of this. Well, what do we need? All right, here's a list of what you need a camp, you
And
need
then maybe the studios said like, let's find these things.
right.
But I feel like this is just original enough. If you take out
Yeah,
the camp, these aren't the same movies. The only
right.
thing that makes them similar to me is the camp.
Where they're like, okay, we got a little old lady in this one, what do we get in this one? Okay, check it out, it's a little girl, but
I
it's
mean,
not a little girl.
cocaine was wild in the
Yeah.
80s, so
I know, but yeah, but in that case, Jacob, hey, would you go see this in the theater?
yeah, I would.
Hell yeah. I
This would be a
but
good one.
I the other day watching it, I was like, yeah, yeah, I would. I
This
wouldn't
feels
mind.
like a good theater movie, like a good summertime theater movie,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. Like, fucking. You own any physical copies?
I do own it on not VHS, on DVD. I don't own it on VHS. I wish I
I
did.
don't have any copies of it, but I
Hmm.
really want one now. Like, I want the collection of the sleepaway camps. I can't wait till we get to the bad ones that you keep talking about, Jacob. So,
Dude, they're fucking bad, bro.
yeah. No,
Like,
I
I
just
don't try and throw that at me. They're just
right, right,
bad.
right.
They're just bad, my dude.
Yeah. Uh, cult classic.
Absolutely.
Yes. Yes, 100%. The people that really like this movie really like this movie and they like and it is justifiable. Like we said, fucking Felicity is
Felissa.
not, huh? Felissa.
Felissa.
Eh.
Felicity is a early 2000s TV show with Carrie Russell. Um,
Miss Rose did not, blow up, but because she didn't come back on these movies, so, but everybody knows that face. And you go to the horror conventions, she's going to make that face from Sleepaway Camp, not her informational on how to store meat at the correct temperature. No, she's in one of those like 90s videos that like make sure
yeah.
that you don't leave your meat out on the counter.
It's one of those things where the industry said no thanks. Um, and she stayed persistent and now
Yeah.
she's getting her flowers.
It's like
Like
I still gotta eat.
Comic-Con's brought her back to life.
Yes.
And then since then her popularity has grown and I'm happy for her. So
Yes. Yes.
good job.
Oh my.
If you need me to Venmo you $20, I got you. But it is what it is. Hopefully, I honestly, obviously, she's not going to make anything else that's going to do this or be this or anything. But
Who
yeah,
knows? Who
I,
knows?
well, I do. That's why I said it. But yeah, all right. Yes, I would recommend it before
I'd
you.
recommend it too, very
Yeah,
much so.
yeah.
I had a good time. I recommend it watching, the summertime camp style. So yeah.